What's up, guys? I wanted to share a little morsel of knowledge with you that may help you out of a pinch someday. What I have going on is the cover here to my diamond drive, the fill level plug, the threads are pulled in this housing a little bit, meaning they're a little rough. The plug doesn't want to thread in and out like it should. Nice thing about most plugs, whether it's oil pan, this type of plug, whatever, they're typically a bolt thread. This is a metric 12 millimeter by 1.25 thread pitch bolt thread. Issue there is lots of hardware stores and things of that nature. They're probably not going to have the tap you need when you need it, and usually you need it pretty darn quick. So in a pinch, what you can do is you can go down to your local Napa hardware store, Home Depot sometimes, and pick up some bolts. These are just your normal everyday metric 12 millimeter bolts. And what you want to do is you take them and you cut grooves into the thread. I did 3 separate grooves here, and that effectively simulates what a tap would be able to do. And this is a 10.9 grade metric bolt, which is equivalent to a SAE 8 grade. So it's pretty hard. It'll work pretty well, something like this. Since this is aluminum, this housing is aluminum, it's pretty soft. If you were in a situation where you needed to tap something harder like steel, cast iron, whatever, you could actually probably heat treat this just with a torch, cool it off real quick, and do that a couple times, and that'll actually harden up the bolt even further, or at least it should. Might help you out there. As far as cutting the grooves, there's a couple different ways you can do it. The best way I've found is just with a die grinder with an abrasive cutting wheel. Of course, not everybody's going to have one of those laying around. Other option would be a angle file. Works really good, actually. And you can probably get your hands on one of these pretty cheaply if you don't have one already. And the other option, which is probably the least effective, would be a hacksaw. Yeah, that's going to take some time and patience to get that right, though. Then you just take the bolt and thread it into your hole that you want to clean up. I already ran it through to make sure it was actually going to work before I made a video. But yeah, it cleaned the threads up real nice, and it's it's convenient because you can turn this with a wrench or a socket or whatever you have laying around, as opposed to having to have a tool to turn a tap or die like you need to. And it just cleans the threads right up, and now it goes in there finger by finger. And it used to be, got hard halfway through and had to use a wrench to get it to suck up tight. But yeah, this is a little tip I've learned over the years that might help you out one day when you're in a tight spot and need to get something going in a hurry. Another thing is, especially something like this where it's a gearbox and you have gears and bearings and things like that you don't want contaminated in, always best to remove it, because you're always going to get some debris coming out on the inside, on the opposite side of the whatever hole you're tapping, and you definitely don't want to get any kind of metal shavings, aluminum shavings, anything like that in your gear case, because that could wipe you out pretty quick.